Hello and welcome to Subway NIBFA Today. I'm Barry Green. We're back this week with the very best of the National League action. We have the Subway Goal of the Month for March, and we'll be getting today's special guest to pick the winner from our short list of 4, so stay tuned to find out who has won. Today we'll be joined by Larne striker Thomas Stewart. Thomas will be giving us his thoughts on our 4 featured games. First up, we go to Allen Park in Antrim, with a place in the Under-16 plate final up for grabs. Glentoran met Derry Colts, and we saw 7 goals in a pulsating match. Let's take a look.
Glentoran in the black and green and Derry in the red and white. The East Belfast side were the first team to threaten, this free kick from captain Conal Quinn causing problems in the Derry defence. Against a run of play and on the counter-attack, Derry Colts opened the scoring when Tiernan Devine fired hard and low past Callum Rooney in the Glentoran goal. 1-0 after 10 minutes. The Northwest side were clinical and were taking their chances. Corin Gallagher scoring from 6 yards out after Jason Donegan's free kick wasn't properly cleared. 2-0 now with 3 minutes played in the second half. Glentoran needed a goal. This flowing move almost allowed a chance for Conal Docherty, but the through ball had too much on it this time. The Glentoran goal then did arrive. This pinpoint free kick from Mason Weatherup from the head of Benji McGee, who headed home to give Glentoran a lifeline. Down at the other end, only 2 minutes after the Glentoran goal, Derry extended their lead when the Glentoran defence couldn't clear their lines, and Derry's Aaron McClafferty scored from close range. 3-1 now the score. 3-1 soon became 4-1 when a counter-attacking move down the right side allowed a shooting opportunity for Oren Coyle, who fired into the bottom left corner. Derry Colts finishing throughout the match was ruthless, and Aaron McClafferty scored his second of the game with this well-placed long-range strike. Glentoran scored with the last kick of the game after a fine play from Benji McGee down the left side, tap in for Dara Morgan at the back post. At full time it finished Derry Colts 5, Glentoran 2.
Well, I'm delighted to say I've been joined by Larne striker Thomas Stewart. Thomas, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, good to be here.
Thomas, you're well travelled. I recall you hitting the headlines here at Linfield and then you headed for America. Tell us about your experience.
Yeah, I had a great time in the Irish League, obviously, winning leagues and cups there. Had a great time, great players, and it was a good foundation for me. Obviously my time in America was a bit of the unknown. I didn't know what I was going into. It worked out really well, and thankfully we won some trophies there as well.
Very good. For those that don't know, give us an insight into the football revolution going on at Larne just now.
Yeah, no, we're still building. Early stages, obviously. Obviously Larne have a great project and they have a lot of funding right now. Obviously Kenny Bruce has come in from Purple Bricks and is giving the team a real boost, and there's a real sense of belief around the club, and you know the plans are great and we hope to achieve those in the near future.
Well, turning to Derry Colts and their emphatic 5-2 win over Glentoran in that first game, there's some excellent build-up play resulting in some great goals, particularly for Derry.
Yeah, very impressed with the standard from both. I think the scoreline doesn't reflect the actual game. I think Derry were very good in the counter-attack. Glentoran, when they were going forward, sometimes were broken down a wee bit, but some of the finishes were outstanding, and you know the little lad up front was very lively.
Yeah, he was good, wasn't he? Aaron McClafferty hit 2 goals in that game, the second of which was superb, wasn't it?
Yeah, we're having a wee bit of a joke. I think he sent the Glentoran defender for a bag of chips there. You know, it was a great finish, fantastic technique and great awareness to to beat the keeper at the near post.
Yeah, and a contender hopefully later on then for goal of the month, and you can see why.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Superb, thanks Thomas. That win for Derry puts them in the final of the Plate, where they will play the winners of Bangor against Portadown. On to match 2. This one was played under the lights at Seaview and featured leaders Ards against the informed Coleraine in the Under-18 National League. With the two sides playing well, this game promised a lot. Let's see how they got on. Ards met Coleraine in the NIBFA Under-18 National League at Seaview, with Ards at the summit and Coleraine unbeaten since the Christmas split in the league. The Bandsiders playing in blue and white and Ards in red and blue. Great build-up play from Coleraine brought the game's first chance on 7 minutes. Robert McLean and Ian Maxwell were involved in the move that resulted in an opportunity for Kyle Whiteside, but he hit the side netting. Ards were keen to get on the score sheet and fashion their own opportunity. Keelan Cunningham playing the pass to Harry McElrath. The ball then ran to Ryan Tweedy, who unfortunately couldn't keep the shot down. Coleraine then had a glorious chance from a corner. Callum Brown was on mark, but Niall Grimley made a terrific double save from point blank range. Then on the half hour, this Ards free kick tested Daniel Smith, who had to be at his absolute best to turn the ball behind for a corner. From that corner, Smith made another smart save from Cunningham, and the match remained scoreless. Again, Smith was called into action for Coleraine. Kyle Tone's strike was goal bound, but the keeper got down well to his left on this occasion. Smith's remarkable performance continued after half-time. Keelan Cunningham was initially denied by Smith, with the Ards man heading the rebound over the top. On 53 minutes, Cunningham turned provider, this time setting up Kyle Tone. And Tone watched in vain as his shot went just wide. Again, it was Ards who came in search of that elusive goal. McElrath surged into the box, and when the ball was only partially cleared, Ryan Tweedy whizzed the shot agonisingly off target. With 65 minutes play, Coleraine had a decent opening. Turning Boorman passed to Sam McClelland, and he picked out Ian Maxwell, who headed straight at Grimley. With time running out, McElrath and McKee combined for Ards before Sam Dinu's 30-yard effort was thwarted again by Smith. Full-time Ards 0, Coleraine 0. So Thomas, scoreless, but there were plenty of chances, and both keepers, Niall Grimley and Daniel Smith in particular, both outstanding.
Yeah, both exceptional on the day, and as a striker, you know, I know how frustrating that is. But you just got to hold your hats off and say, you know, they're phenomenal on the day, making point blank saves, long range saves, and yeah, they were just great.
What about the one-handed save from Smith?
I think that was probably my favourite, just because it's so instinctive. As a striker, you believe it's a goal. You know, you just get it on the target and it's in. But yeah, he did great, and again, you know, both keepers were definitely man of the match in my opinion.
Sometimes keepers don't get enough credit, but certainly during this game, you know, you can see why the game finished scoreless essentially.
Absolutely, you know, obviously being 0-0, probably the viewer maybe thinks, oh, it's not going to be a great game. I think that's one of the best ones I've seen. You know, the highlights speak for themselves as well.
Yeah, the standard of play from both teams there, in my opinion, and maybe you agree or don't agree, but it won't be too long before a lot of those guys are making the step up to the Irish League.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm very impressed with the standard. Again, you know, from watching some of these lads, you know, they're big lads as well, and very confident, and not just goalkeepers, but some of the players, the outfield players, very technical as well, and you know, they're playing the right way, trying to pass, you know, some intricate passages of play, and that can only be great, you know, for the future of Northern Ireland football.
Would you say the product, looking at it now versus when you came through, it's a lot more technical?
There were very technical players in our time, but at the same time, I think the way they're trying to play is definitely a lot better for youth football. you see players being brought into play, you know, centre backs breaking through in the midfield, midfielders getting crosses into the box, but they're, you know, they're measured passes. You know, it's not just putting it in for a reason. You know, there's willing runners as well, and I think it's great.
Two very good sides, and just about the best 0-0 you could ever see.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely.
Thanks, Thomas. Now it's time for the Subway Goal of the Month competition for March. We've got 4 excellent goals for you, with the winner lifting the trophy that will be presented by a Subway representative. Goal A was scored by Barry Bagley for Glentoran's under-18s against Cliftonville. Let's take a look.
A first attempt on target was blocked by keeper Ethan McGrath, but you have to take a look at this. Bagley volleying the clearance superbly, surely a contender for Goal of the Month.
So Thomas, the technique to control that volley was awesome, wasn't it?
It's fantastic, yeah, and I believe he's only 15 as well, and with a left peg like that there, it'll not be long before Michael and Lee's probably knocking on his door.
Yeah, exactly. I think there is a lot of cross-channel interest in young Barry Bagley, and you can see why.
Absolutely, definitely. It's good to see again, as I say, you know, it's a lefty with that composure, that confidence to hit it first time as well.
Yeah.
It's great to see it hit the back of net, and I think it's just one of those things, you're not expecting a goal to be scored from that. You know, was it a defensive clearance, you know, when he's hit it first time. So, no, it was a great finish.
Super. Now Goal B from Oliver McGrath of Crusaders against Rosario. This was a quality bit of front play.
Crusaders kept plugging away, and an optimistic long ball forward was to fall favourably for Oliver McGrath. And as the Rosario keeper came off his line, McGrath chipped the ball into the back of the net. Touch of a real pro in the making.
So Thomas, great movement and a great goal.
Yeah, another great finish. Particularly like he's playing on the shoulder. You know, he knows what the goalkeeper is, he knows what the goal is, and that's just an instinctive finish and a great composure from the lad as well.
One you'll appreciate as a striker?
Yeah, I actually, funnily enough, scored a few chips in the time in America, so yeah, I can totally agree with that, and it's a great finish from the lad.
Super. Okay, Goal C was scored by Aaron McClafferty for Derry Colts in that impressive win over Glentoran. Let's take a look.
Aaron McClafferty scored his second of the game with this well-placed long-range strike.
So Thomas, how did you see that goal from Aaron McClafferty?
Great finish from Aaron. He sent the defender one way and then the other. He cut back in and he showed great technique to cut across the keeper. And, yeah, another great finish. Good
finish, yes. Finally, Goal D. This time it was a free kick from Glentoran's Christopher Conn against Cliftonville.
The high-flying East Belfast side hit the post just before Conn squared up against the wall for this free kick, curled beautifully and proving too much for McGrath.
So Thomas, that free kick had some curl on it, didn't it?
Yeah, great bend on it. I executed it really well. He knew exactly what he was doing. He's used the end man just to curl it round, and I don't think the keeper really had any chance with that one.
Yeah, great technique. So you've seen all 4 goals now. Which have you opted for Goal of the Month for March?
I'm going to have to go with number 1, Barry Bagley. I think has a bit of everything in it. Obviously, he showed great maturity to strike that ball at his age. Great technique and great instinct, you know, and I'm going to have to give it to him.
Great, Thomas, thank you. Congratulations then to Barry Bagley on that superb goal. Subway representatives will be out to present you with your Goal of the Month award in the next week or so. Well done again, Barry. Now we have our halftime team talk, where we talk hints and tips with our expert to improve your game. Thomas, you've enjoyed a terrific career spanning England, America, the Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland. Give us a little bit of flavour what it was like then when you went initially across the pond to Wolves.
Yeah, it's very exciting. It's every young man's, young footballer's dream, I suppose. Whenever I had the call to go across from some trials, Wolves really pursued me and really wanted me. And they were a huge club, a club that was knocking on the door in the Premier League. And yeah, I really enjoyed my time. I worked with some great managers there and really developed academy team, reserve team, pre-season with the first team. So I loved every moment of it, yeah.
Tell us some of the names then that were sprinkled amongst your age group that have come through now we'd maybe know from.
There was probably the biggest one would have been Wayne Hennessy, to be honest.
Yeah.
He was always a goalkeeper that was good with both feet, very technical, but he didn't really make the breakthrough until Wales gave him his chance for international level. So again, it's very good for maybe the likes of our younger players. You know, if they get a chance maybe with Northern Ireland, then their club career will flourish after that. But
Tell us about then coming back to the Irish League. Was that difficult to kind of readjust?
A little bit. I think you want to stay in England because it's seen more as maybe you'll get more international chance or something like that. But certainly I have no regrets that way because David Jeffrey gave me a chance. I think I matured really well. You're going into straight first team football. You're getting the bumps, the bruises, the knocks. You know, you're learning quicker.
Yeah.
And I would say if there was any footballer out there that's thinking maybe, oh, should I go or not? You know, there's no right or wrong really. But at the same time, being here playing in Northern Ireland, you know, really develops you. What
about then coming back to the Irish League the second time around here? You know, you've come back via the League of Ireland. Do you see a difference in the standard of play? Yeah, definitely. But I think I've always kept a close eye on it as well. You know, I would have kept watching the BBC even when I was in America, saw the highlights. So I know a lot of the players and the product that's on show. Yeah. It's definitely got better in my eyes in terms of the way the players play the game, the way the managers understand the game. And certainly I think that shows whenever it comes across on the live games on Sky. Let's talk a bit about technique and hints and tips for young players nowadays. If you were to offer any advice to a young up-and-coming player, what would you advise them? I think you just got to work on your game. It's important not to take anything for granted. Obviously in football, an injury can change a player's career. So you got to be on it all the time, ready to go. You know, if you're not playing, you know, you got to do that extra work to get into the team. Take the opportunities when they come, and again, enjoy the game. Is there anything that you would say to a young player, definitely don't go down that road, don't be trying that, or don't be doing that? I think every player knows what they want, but in terms of don't be trying that, no, I wouldn't say that. I think you got to go somewhere where a manager first and foremost appreciates you as a footballer, as a player, and is going to maybe get the best strengths out of you. You obviously know what the player is capable of, but if you have a manager that just, you know, isn't going to maybe make you flourish, then I would go to the club that's going to do that. Yeah. Looking back on your career, would you have done anything differently? No, I can't say that I would have. I think I can answer that honestly, because I think whenever I moved to Sacramento, for instance, people, you know, doubted it. I maybe doubted it myself a little bit. Should I go or not? But whenever I walked out in front of 20,000 fans in Sacramento, it was pretty good. What was that experience like then, playing there? Phenomenal. I can't speak highly enough of my time there. The people, the players, the city as a whole, and they really wanted football in the capital of California, and we gave it to them, and we won trophies, and yeah, incredible, and, you know, great experience. California then to Larne, quite the journey. You're what, 31 now, am I right? 31, yeah. Tell us a bit about your objectives then at Larne. Yeah, no, we've serious plans. Obviously, we're in the championship, and that's not where the team want to be. It's not where I want to be. No. But there's a project there, and I'm doing something different that I've never done before. I mean, going back, I had the chance to go to Dundalk 6 years ago, and they did a similar thing to what Larne are doing now. And I know how big it can get, how good it can be. Yeah. And then I got the chance to play for Dundalk. So same things are happening here for Larne. I'm a part of it, you know, when it's in the bad, but we're going to try and get it to the good, and I can't wait for that. And a final word then on people who have directed your career in the right direction. Would it be right and fitting in saying Michael O'Neill played a big hand? Yeah, absolutely. I really enjoyed playing under him. Very methodical, good people's person, and yeah, he was one of those guys that just got the best out of me. I played as a striker on the left, and he knew what to do, how to manage players, and you know, his game management was superb. Superb. It's not a surprise then he's doing so well with No, not at all. You know, knowing him, obviously the jump up from Shamrock Rovers to international level, that's obviously a different thing. But I always knew he was going to do well. Yeah. But doing it in that short space of time, you know, probably not. Thanks, Thomas, for now. Now it's time for our final two games. Crumlin was the venue for Glentoran and St Oliver Plunkett's under-15s last weekend. Both teams were out to register 3 points. Lord James is on commentary.
St Oliver Plunkett took on Glentoran under-15s at Crumlin Leisure Centre on Saturday morning, where both teams were treated to good conditions, in dry, calm weather, making a bit of a change. Plunkett attacking the right-hand side in black and white, Glentoran in traditional green, red and black. Thomas Stewart's free kick from a promising position demanded cat-like reflexes from Ryan Dazzle 6 minutes in, and buoyed by their attacking start and well-drilled, positive Plunkett continued to create chances. Ronan Caller's cross found Connor Sullivan, whose shot was blocked, and fairly comfortably smothered by Dazzle. After watching the ball roll back into play, however, Josh Quinn spied this opportunity. Intercepting and outpacing Glentoran's back line, Quinn was one-on-one with the keeper before firing low and hard from close range. 10 minutes in and Plunkett won to the good. Moments later, Glentoran then retaliated. Seamus Duffy embarked on a lung-busting run through the middle of the park, beating an attempt to tackle him in midfield before demanding a great save from Darren McCauley before Darren Morgan blazed over the bar. Now, this free kick is worth a replay or several. Stewart curling his set piece beautifully into the top corner for Plunkett's second of the game. Liam Carr showcased some outstanding dribbling after collecting the ball on the right flank, but his shot took a slight deflection, falling just wide of the near post. At the other end, Darren Morgan pulsed forward, but keeper McCauley had already read it well, coming off his line to save confidently. After the break, Colonel Duffy twisted and turned his way through plenty of green shirts after collecting Sean Stewart's throw-in, eventually finding Sullivan, who forced another great stop from Dazzle. Battling his way through midfield, defender Thomas McDonnell changed the direction of play, bulldozing through until he caught Liam Carr in his line of vision. But after Dazzle came off his line, Sullivan recovered the ball and smashed it off the bar. Plunkett's quick reactions continued to pay off. This time on 54 minutes, stopper Dazzle had come forward to collect a long ball over the middle of the park, but Carr had circled him in pursuit, finishing with his right foot into an open goal. If you thought Carr's last goal had been opportunistic, check this one out. Poor Bailey Hoy loses his footing and the Plunkett captain plunders, holding off Aaron McCrory and making the most of that unfortunate slip. The 4-0 drubbing is almost always an accurate scoreline, and despite Glentoran's best efforts, St Oliver Plunkett are the deserved winners.
So Thomas, a comprehensive victory for a good-looking Plunkett side.
Yeah, great victory. Again, another good performance from both teams. But I think the difference was Sean Stewart's kind of technique and football on show.
Well, what about, he tested the Glens keeper early on. The Glens keeper made a magnificent save, but then he came back for more a few minutes later.
Yeah, you're kind of thinking of the first one, it's not going to happen again, but he's just shown incredible technique, and clearly he's very comfortable at that.
If you're Glentoran, if you're their players or managers, they've lost by 4-0, what are you saying to your team?
Listen, you can only hold your hands up against set pieces like that, but at the same time, they've got to compete a wee bit better. They looked probably a little bit vulnerable at the back, and again, you just need to get tighter as a team.
Yeah, it's just a shame. The centre half came out near the end, he tripped on the ball, but then Plunkett took full advantage of that, didn't he? Yeah,
he's capitalised on a mistake, but that's, again, good play from his point of view, always alert, always aware, and he showed good centre forward awareness.
Great, Thomas. That result means Plunkett now sit joint third. They have a game in hand on leaders Green Island, who are 10 points better off than Plunkett. Next up, it's Crusaders and Portadown. Again, this was in the Under-15 National League and was played at Crumlin. Mark Wesley, watch this one.
Good morning, everyone, from Crumlin Leisure Centre for this Under-15s tie between Portadown and Crusaders. Portadown in red, getting us underway and attacking the goal to our left. Some good pressing early on from Crusaders. Portadown trying to pass the ball under constant pressure from the Crews. And when Crusaders won a throw-in, it was a 1-2 between Davidson and Boyd that would lead to the opening goal. The right foot of Boyd doing the damage. Jack Johnson given no chance. 1-0. It's a perfect day here at Crumlin. Some good conditions and quite a few turning up to support the young lads. More nice skill from Matthew Clements, and an excellent pass to Jay Boyd was to see the number 9 drive deep into Portadown's defence. Some last-ditch defending, keeping it at 1-0. However, from the resulting corner, Crusaders were to get their second goal. At first it looked like the ball was overhit, but turned it back in by Jay Boyd, and there was Oliver McGrath, the number 10, heading home. No one would blame you if you thought the Crews were going to run away with this tie, but Portadown had other ideas. Although not before Boyd almost made it 3. This fine effort just clipping the bar. There was a glimmer of hope for Portadown when their number 11 thumped the ball against the woodwork. Number 9, Matty Quayton, quickest to respond, and the Cruise keeper only able to help the ball into his own net. 2-1. Plenty of encouragement offered from the sidelines. Could Portadown push on and get an equaliser? The next goal would be crucial. And when Crusaders pumped a long ball forward from deep in their own half, it seemed with plenty of time all Josh Rooney had to do was head back to his keeper. A bit of poor control was to lead to another goal for Crusaders. With the score at 3-1, it was looking like the Crews had the game in the bag, but Portadown hadn't read the script. And when they got a corner, number 6, Dean McCulloch, was to score with a header. 3-2. Game proving it still had plenty of life in it. Momentum though now with Portadown. And when from a long free kick driven into the Crusaders box, again up steps McCulloch with a Portadown equaliser. In fairness, a draw would probably be a fair result. But who would discount another goal? Two pretty determined sides. And with 6 minutes of play left, Dean McCulloch was to send a free kick goalwards, and when his right-footed effort was parried by the goalkeeper, up popped Rooney. It finished Portadown 4, Crusaders 3.
Thomas, from being 3-1 down, that was some win for the Ports.
Great comeback. I think Portadown set pieces. You know, we're winning them the game. Obviously, Crusaders at 3-1, you're expecting them to go on and see the game off, but Portadown have stuck in there and they've played to their strength. Their set pieces, their delivery was incredible, and some great finishes on show. Yeah,
McCulloch scored the goal that brought the game back to 3 apiece, but what about the defending for that goal?
Yeah, we had a look at that, and if you pause the TV, you know, I think there's 5 Crusaders players around that, and no one's picked him up, no one's aware of him. He's had a free run. It's a great finish from the lad from Portadown, but again, I think Crusaders will be looking at that, and then obviously they didn't learn for the second time, for the second set piece, and again the keeper's made a good save, palmed it out, but no one's fallen in.
Yeah, no one reacting. Would it be fair to say that despite losing, that will have been a lesson learned for Crusaders, because they'll always remember that, won't they?
I hope so. I mean, they didn't learn after the second set piece, so it's ultimately costing the game, but I think that'll be what the manager would probably try and do. There's a lot of good things in their game, a lot of good components, a lot of good areas, but they can definitely improve in their defending.
Yeah, when you have that kind of 2-goal buffer, they should have really killed the game off, shouldn't they?
I think so. I think that's important in any kind of game. You know, whenever you have that lead, you know, 3-1, you can't be conceding another 3 goals.
But they did.
They did. So hopefully they work on their set pieces this week in training.
Yeah. Well, that result leaves Portadown and Crusaders just 2 points above the drop zone. Both have 16 points. That's it from us for this week. Thanks, Thomas, for joining us on Subway NIBFA today. We hope you enjoyed it.
Yes, thanks very much. Thanks for having me.
Thanks to you for tuning in. We'll see you again in a fortnight with another studio guest poised to add their expertise. Please do help us to continue to share the news of the Northern Ireland football product by sharing our content on social media. Finally, you can drop us a message on Facebook or Twitter via the NIBFA or Exporte pages. Join us again in 2 weeks' time. We'll see you then.